Whoa, whoa, Dawnseeker, we want peace. Oh! We want peace. We want peace. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
I like their baseline better.
Okay, man. Okay. Cisco is fine.
Ian,
Cristobal.
tonight we watched a screener for an upcoming movie, Dawnseeker.
Seek the Dawn.
A little movie that, unbeknownst to me at the time, is from a director that
We've covered a couple times.
And
I also did not know going into it, and I'm glad I didn't. I was
I've
also
seen before, but
not
yeah.
sure what to expect with this one, because I didn't see much about it going into it. I knew it was a Predator kind of a knockoff
Scenario,
type movie,
yeah.
and I was really excited for that. I'm already on board for that. I was prepared for it to be anything from very bad to very good to anything in between, and just open-minded. No expectations.
But you were excited about its, I guess it's mockbuster kind of spiel.
Yeah. Not excessively mockbustery,
No,
but
it's
like in
not.
the style of Predator.
It seems like there's some scenes that are very
Yeah.
Predator-esque, but it does seem like a bit of a stretch, and I think they just tried to capitalize it on the fact that Predator's coming out, and they took this movie and they kind of marketed it in a way where it feels like it's supposed to be more mockbuster than it actually is.
Yeah, I would say it actually does feel quite a bit like the original Predator, if only set in the future in a more sci-fi vibe.
Sure.
I'd give it more of that. Doesn't feel as much like the current Predator
Right.
movie that's coming out, I don't think, though I haven't seen it yet.
No. So, director is Justin Price. Mm-hmm. You would know
Picture
him.
Zero Entertainment.
Oh, okay. You know him from The 13th Friday, which we reviewed at one point.
You and I did it almost exactly a year ago. But you've also covered some of his work with Aaron and AJ.
Yeah, we did Alien Raid of Man, which
I haven't seen, but I remember you did not like.
did not like.
13th Friday we weren't overly nuts about either. We found some things we liked about it, though.
We did. There's things I like about Alien Raid of Man. So let's talk about Dawnseeker. Ian, what is it about?
So, it takes place about 200 years in the future. The sun is no longer producing enough energy to maintain the habitable life on Earth. But I guess through some kind of stardust MacGuffin thing that they can get elsewhere, they manage to maintain just enough of a couple of safe zones. But people are forced to work. Anybody capable of fighting gets forced into mercenary work. So, got a couple action scenes in the beginning, and then, the rest of the movie set on another planet, kind of seeking out some of the stardust stuff, with a Dawnseeker on their tail.
Mm-hmm. So, I know you're not a big video game guy,
Not much.
but there's a lot of video game influence in this movie.
I can see that.
We alluded to the fact that the first 20 or so minutes of this movie feels very different than the rest. Mm-hmm. And that first 20 minutes felt very much, including the title sequence, like a game called Deus Ex.
Okay. This movie did such a good job in that first 25 minutes of really establishing like a tone and a feeling. Kind of felt like Annihilation in that way. Certainly not as good as Annihilation, but that movie was pretty incredible.
I think you're being a little generous.
I really, really loved the first like 20 to 25 minutes of this movie. I was on board. I texted you. I'm like, this is so great. There was a lot of cool stuff going on. Like, you start out with like a really cool, like, dark, urban, sci-fi action scene that was pretty good.
It was night and day compared to anything else in this movie. Yeah.
And you've got some like fun CGI. I thought the ship that they were flying on that kind of separates the beginning from the middle of this movie was really cool set. And the costumes come into it and they look pretty cool. Some pretty sweet looking knives that they're having, like really cool props. And then they land on the planet, it's a crash, there's action, I'm way in. Up to this point, I'm having a really good time with this movie. I was so pumped. I like paused it to turn around and tell my wife, like, babe, this is a great movie, you should be watching this with me. Having a really good time. There's a lot good about that first 20 to 25 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. What I actually thought was just interesting are the movie references you made or none that I made.
Okay,
So
what do you got?
What I wrote was Predator, obviously.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
that.
That's where the sun is dying and they have to relight it or whatever. It's a Danny Boyle movie, but the ship that they were traveling on looked like it was from Sunshine.
Okay.
Deus Ex. Pitch Black.
Okay.
I could see it. So I wasn't nearly as excited as you were about the first. I wasn't saying it was awesome. It wasn't bad. It was definitely entertaining at that point, and the effects ranged from really poor to pretty cool.
They're all fun though, even when they weren't the best.
All fun, that's the point.
Yeah, it was very fun up to that
world
point.
building was fun. Not all of it looked good. Some of it looked crappy. Some of it was just funny looking. But then they had this interesting fight scene in the rain, and it's like, it felt like a lot of this stuff feels like a fan film of something. Like, oh, this is my Matrix fight scene. This, you know what I mean? Just This movie for me sits in a place where it's not a movie that is so badly made or anything that it's kind of like entertaining just because the production values are so bad or anything. It's not like that.
No.
Because there's times where this movie shines.
This is a mostly competent film.
Yeah, and there's times where it's like, that was actually a pretty cool scene. But then it's so uneven. Some scenes are really poorly done. Some scenes are decently done. And the whole time, it's just like you're wavering between this movie sucks, this movie's alright, this movie sucks, this movie's alright.
Okay.
And then it's just takes itself so seriously, and it thinks it's so much cooler than it actually is, that I had a hard time enjoying it.
Okay. But to me, like, almost everything about this movie worked at least as well as it needed to. Like, some very good, some, like you said, good enough, but it was fun. To me, it was really the script that was, like, the only thing that didn't work. Like, I think this guy does really great visual stuff for this movie. We said that about 13th Friday. There's at least I said, there's a lot of great scenes. They just don't come together to create a larger narrative or a movie.
Do you feel like this guy, he seems like a big fan of genre movies, horror, sci-fi movies in general, and I feel like he doesn't realize that there's a lot of things that he jumps to because they're tropes in sci-fi movies and stuff that he expects the audience just to pick up on what happened.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of context lost between scenes for me, where it's jarring for the viewer.
So, in addition to the dialogue being bad, it wasn't always clear what the character motivations were. Like, the character development wasn't real good, and like understanding why a character did what they didn't always track for me.
But there's so many scenes for me, and this goes back to the fan film thing, that just felt like they were like a YouTube. You know how you see those YouTube Star Wars videos where like a fan film of Star Wars?
Sure.
That's what this felt like.
At times.
For Predator.
Like a good one.
I guess. A little bit better than normal, but so I mean that's what I felt though. I was like, this is just a little embarrassing. Like, this isn't cool. This isn't conveying what you think it is.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far myself.
But like 3/4 of the movie is visually the same. That gray forest, and then the first quarter is very different, way more stylized. Yeah, it just looks way better lit. Everything. Yeah. There's really bad cuts between two scenes, probably because they have one camera and they keep moving it, and the lighting is so vastly different that they don't even try and match it. It's just really jarring kind of stuff.
It didn't bother me.
I could forgive some of that shit.
Especially if the story's
If the movie was more fun. That's like, I'm going to keep bringing up Z-Rex, because that movie is so badly made, but still it's so fun.
Yeah.
And this, it's like, somebody needed to go smack this guy across the face and be like, bitch, this is a shitty movie. Enjoy yourself.
I know how we could fix this movie, at least for you.
Okay.
And it starts with the creature. The creature doesn't have clear motivations. I don't know what the creature wants.
No.
The Dawnseeker, if you will. I don't know what it wants. I get a little background information that it comes from a planet where they mine the stardust.
And I believe its name tells you what it wants.
Yeah.
It's the Dawnseeker.
But in any case, it's not clear why it even wants to kill these people. It has some of the same attributes as Predator, like it can be invisible at times. It uses an arm pad. It only attacks combatants. Like there's at one point some of our heroes are in cuffs, but from other people, and it doesn't go after them because they're non-combatants. But also, I think the creature was like, it was very good, but it was missing that extra 10%. Like it needed to like the whole mouth structure was all very competently made, but it was also too clean and too dry.
I think
if they just made it like wet and sloppy and gross,
that
it would have
worked
worked better. And it needed to be less clean in any case. Like give it a little grime to it.
I would say it's it's a problem you have in when you have cheap props is if you don't obscure them and hide them as much as possible.
Yeah.
This thing is fucking out in the open so much that you get to see it so often that you get to start seeing all of its flaws.
But again, I wonder if they weren't expecting to be on a different set.
Dude, this thing moves like, and then they're like, oh no, the Dawnseeker's here, the ultimate killing machine, and it's like,
just the whole,
like it's so slow.
The whole facial structure just looked too sculpted. You know? Yeah. It was too clean, too neat.
I think more it's just its movement was really poor.
Yeah.
Because the Predator, the fucking Predator is iconic. It looks awesome. It's an awesome design, and it's got very much fluidity because it's like a person in a suit that can actually move and stuff, and it looks natural when it moves. This guy prods along. These fight scenes are so slow, it's embarrassing. Like, this is not menacing at all like a Predator is.
Right.
It's like, it's laughable because this thing is just walking and they're shooting these laser guns at it and with the worst laser gun effect I've ever fucking seen.
Which, again, would have been fine if the story was better put together.
And it's taking it. It's like... Alright, so catch Dawnseeker September 4th on demand.
We were pretty negative here. I didn't hate it. No. Didn't come together quite the way my expectations have been lifted up by the beginning. I would tentatively recommend it. It was fine.
I don't think I would. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
1 out of 2 recommendations is about where I'd put this.
Yeah, it's not going to satisfy somebody who's like, oh, cool, Predator's coming out. I want to see a shitty Predator movie. It's not really that. I mean, sort of is it in description, but it doesn't feel like that at all. I was pretty bored with this movie. I liked the beginning. Yeah. We all liked the beginning, and something happened. All right, that's going to do it. We'll catch you next time here on Bad Movie Night. See you later. Bye bye. Bye 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 baby bye 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 bye. Maybe take a step over this way. And get that stupid fucking chair. Goddamn chair ruins everything.
Kick the camera over.
Kick the fucking camera over. All right, we're recording. Go ahead. Oh wait.